Hi everyone, my name is Devin. I was fortunate enough to interview Zach Bolin for my oral presentation. Zach is a veteran of children's theater in Antioch. He first got his start with the Frank J. Ballestero Company when he was 10 years old. He auditioned for the first time for the role of Tin Man in that company's production of The Wizard of Oz. And he was fortunate enough to land that role and work with Frank J. Ballestero, who is also a 30-year veteran of Antioch Children's Theater and founded his production company in Antioch in 1999, focused mainly on children's theater. Despite his love of theater, Zach did leave for about 2 to 3 years to work odd jobs while he pursued his other passion, which was movie making. He modeled several independent films where he directed and acted along with his friends in the style of 1920s silent movies. He is particularly fond of that era of movies and says that if he were ever to have a dream role, he would love to play Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle and tell his story. So Zach did that for a little while and then was reintroduced to the theater by Sharon Redmond, who is the leader of the El Campanile Children's Theater and also the popular Antioch troupe, the Vagabonds, who go around and perform for senior citizens. At that time, he was asked to assist with the set design for a particularly tricky tower in their version of Rapunzel. The problem being that the tower would need to be over 4 feet tall, but anything 4 feet or above is required to have a handrail per safety standards, which would have ruined the effect of the set. So Zach spent several months working with them trying to find a safe and aesthetically pleasing solution for that set, and in the end he was able to do that. And he says this is actually the moment that he holds most dear to his heart. He says that seeing the wonder and the awe on the children's faces and on the audience's faces when the curtain raises and they're fully immersed into the story that's being told because of the quality of the set design. He says that that is a very proud moment for him. He not only does set design for the El Campanile Theater, he also sometimes stage manages for them and of course, acts for them. His first role with them was as the Emperor in The Emperor's New Clothes. Initially, he was the understudy, and then due to unforeseeable circumstances, the lead man was unable to perform the first night, and Zach was asked last minute to step in, and he did, and did a wonderful job. Zach recalls that this was a very fun part for him to play. He really enjoyed it, but says that it is not in fact the most difficult part he's ever played or his favorite part. He says that the favorite part that he has ever played and the most challenging part he's ever played is actually the role of Lucius in a play called The Boys Next Door. So The Boys Next Door centers around Lucius and 2 of his friends, all of whom are disabled, trying to make their way in the world. And Zach said that he struggled with this role because Zach himself is not disabled, and Lucius, though his disability is never explicitly stated, it can be inferred that he is on the autism spectrum. And Zach says that it was very difficult for him to figure out how to play this role in a way that was respectful and true to life. He wanted to avoid becoming a caricature of a person with disabilities, so he reached out to friends and family members, because he has several friends and family members who are on the autism spectrum, or I should say he has several family members who have friends who are on the autism spectrum. And he did quite a bit of research into what is known as stimming, so the flapping of the hands and the clapping and the sort of outward manifestations that you might see of autism in order to bring that character to life in a way that was realistic and respectful of the character. And so he has very fond memories of that. And he says that he's very, very grateful for the lessons that it taught him. And he says that he learned a lot as an actor from that particular experience. So in speaking to Zach, I really did connect with him. He's a very friendly and wonderful man. And I really connected with how he felt about set design and making things beautiful in order to draw in the audience. I myself like to illustrate and do art, and so I could really understand how serious his dedication to his craft is and how important it is to him to produce work that is worthy of being put on stage in a production. And Zach still does work with the El Campanile Children's Theater. He is currently working on a 12-foot mural for another one of their productions, and says that he's very optimistic about theater's future. So as we discuss this, he said that he saw theater leaning more towards tech-driven effects and animatronics, and he says that's really great and fantastic, and it pulls off stunning effects, but he would prefer to see a resurgence of practical effects and puppetry in theater, because he thinks there are certain elements that you cannot properly achieve through animatronics and tech and through holograms. He believes that in order to get certain movements, for instance, animals, you really do need the live in real time movement of the puppet in order to accurately capture that fluid movement. He also says that he has been seeing a lot more crossover in theater recently, both in films being adapted to plays and also in racial and gender homogeny. So he says that he sees a lot more actors being placed into roles for characters that are traditionally white, or traditionally male or female, traditionally straight, and he sees persons of color and men being cast into those roles and women being cast into those roles, and says that he quite enjoys that and really hopes that that trend continues, because he feels that it's not necessarily a matter of the actor's skin tone or gender. It's a matter of who plays the role best and who can best portray that character. And he would love to see, for instance, a male actor play Christine Daae in The Phantom of the Opera. He says that that would be something that he would truly enjoy seeing, and I agree. I think that by opening up the doors for more diverse actors and actresses to perform these roles, we're really going to get fantastic new performances, which I feel would pump life back into the theater industry. So overall, Zach is obviously very passionate about his work. He loves to talk about it. He's very funny. He's great. He is a fountain of information for anybody looking to get into the theater industry, or just, curious about it. Just, want to know the secrets, want to know how it works. Like I do. I have always been very much into theater, and I'm very interested in the behind the scenes and seeing how everything works. And so Zach is a absolutely fantastic resource for that. And I was very fortunate to interview him for this presentation. So thank you to Zach. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to answer them. Okay, thank you.